Hey Collective, it's Intuitive Pisces Moon and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I truly appreciate your time and energy exchange. Today we're going to be doing a Kim Krans reading. So I have 3 of her decks. I love her decks. We're going to get into some nitty-gritty stuff and then we're going to close it out with a Gothic oracle at the end here. So I don't know what's on the agenda today. We'll find out as we go. But we're going to be utilizing some Kim Krans decks. So I hope that sounds good to you. Alright, so we're going to start with the Archetypes. I love this deck. It's so pretty because it looks like gems or diamonds. So let's take a look and see what messages want to come out. Alright, Spirit. What messages do we have for the collective at this time? Tell me what it is that we need to see. Thank you. All right. We've got a couple. First one was the shaman. Beautiful imagery. There's a snake, some skulls. I see a hand, another gem. Looks like darkness out there. We'll read a little bit on that one. And then we have the ring. And let's get one more, please. One more for this reading. Thank you. We have the sword. Okay. I love when that one comes out because it is kind of a balance between the light and the dark energy. And even with the shaman coming out, it's very much directing me towards like the journey within, you know, going and journeying and taking a look and see what we have going on. All right, so let's get started with that first one, which is the shaman. And let's see what we have for that. Okay, so this is the Magi, the sorcerer, and the medicine woman. Alright, so it says 3 archetypal ingredients constitute the shaman, and all must be present in order to reveal its magic. First, the shaman is activated by long-standing and diligent study, which is the mentor. Second, its orientation is generally and accurately aimed towards the healing of the self, the other, and the culture, which is the healer. And third, the shaman has a knack for finding doorways to the other world, allowing psychic visions and the old magic to leak into this world, the unseen. In this way, the shaman is a master who bridges the everyday and the sacred, revealing potent power needed desperately in our time. Yet, where there is power, there is shadow. So the shaman must be vigilant in studying their darkness. This card reminds us that the force of healing is ultimately not our own. We must shape it and share it with the world. I love that. So, again, kind of explaining a little bit what a shaman does, what they need to become a shaman. My understanding, and again, I am not an expert on this topic, but I have spoken to other individuals who are going through their shamanic journey and or lessons to become a shaman, and it is at the very least a year's worth of work working with another shaman teacher. So I'm not sure what lessons go along with that, but I definitely have the understanding that it very much entails us needing to know and understand our shadow. And not only that, but to help others look at theirs as well. Okay? I love that. It's up here for a reason. And so there is something within us that we are looking to bring forth with our shadow. Even if it just means hermit mode, right? We're taking the time as a solo person, not doing anything with any other people at this time, just to dive deep into our internal selves and to understand it and to integrate it. All right. Let's see what the tarot has for this pile, please, for the shaman. Tell me more about this shaman. Okay, we have the Knight of Wands. Okay, the word illumination came to my mind there. So we are shining light on something that has been dark or even hidden, shrouded. And we got the Three of Swords here, which could pertain to heartbreak. Okay, give me one more, please. The Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so it's taking me to freedom. This to me feels like freedom. It feels like freedom from material things, but also the freedom to do the things you want to do in your life. Freedom from restrictions. Freedom from being bound by that which ties your heart up. And this is leading me towards the snake, which again sheds its skin over and over again. And we must go through transformation in order to acquire this. Okay? That's the shaman's work. It is unheard of to go through and skip over the shadow work and to just be love and light. That cannot exist without doing shadow work first. So the way the shaman journeys into the beyond to bring an answer, so does a knight, right? The knight goes in and says, you asked for an answer, I'm bringing it to you. And there is something that is happening with the collective at this time where we are being forced to crack our hearts open, okay? So I actually saw an image of Archangel Michael taking his sword of light and sticking it right through the heart space just so that it can open up. Wow, very interesting imagery here. Because it was the sword that cut it in the first place. Okay, so I'm getting all kinds of images that are coming up here. So, armor. A lot of us put armor around our hearts, right? And we build up our walls so high that nobody can see through it, get through it, you know, whatever it is. And they do that because they've been hurt in some way in the past, right? That's what this Three of Swords is. And yet, while we are going through our journeys, we're seeing the patterns of this and what it has given us or taken away from us. What has it given us? It has given us shield, armor, blockage even. And what is it covering up? It is covering up our love, our tenderness, our empathy, our compassion, our willingness to open our hearts again. And this is so interesting, but something is occurring here where that armor is being opened. And you have plenty of assistance to get you there, and it might not feel very comfortable in doing all of this. But something is causing that armor to open. Okay? Maybe it is the want or the need for freedom and the shedding of the skin and the integrating of the shadow and to want to heal the heart. It's like, finally, I want to just heal this. I don't want to keep my armor up forever because I want to feel something. That's what it feels like here. I can't go around bleeding on every relationship I get into. Okay, very interesting wording there. So again, this is very deep, and this message may not be for everybody. But this is what's coming up in this reading at this time. So I'm going to move over to this next one, which is the ring. And let's find out what we have for this one. So this is the infinite, the wheel, and the connection. The ring is an image of connectedness. Rather than viewing life as linear, it is a series of progressive achievements. The ring challenges us to sense the cyclical, infinite nature of our world and experiences. Beginnings and endings fall by the wayside as we practice seeing ourselves as part of the cosmic circularity of creation. For this reason, it's no surprise a ring is worn on the finger to represent eternal love that surpasses space-time and worldly things. So much can be projected onto this archetypal image because it mimics the Earth's orbit around our great sun and the intimate bond between two lovers. It is the micro and the macro united. This card calls us to deepen connection with self, other, and the world at large. Meanwhile, there may be a literal ring waiting to adorn your finger. All right. I love this because, again, it mimics the beginnings and the endings. And it's also talking about what I was saying over here, where it surpasses space-time and worldly things. So if you think about how that would work, maybe our goal in the past, and again, this seems to be in the past energy, we have sought after material things, right? Maybe you never have, and that's good, whatever. But it feels like the thing that you're seeking is to heal from something and to shed some old skin. So whatever this old skin is to you, this death and rebirth energy, it's also integrating your shadow self. So maybe there's parts of you that you've kept hidden and behind this armor that is now being opened up and vulnerable, we'll say, okay? To some people, being vulnerable is unheard of, and some people want it so bad, but they don't know how to achieve it. They don't know how to be it, to exude it, to allow themselves to have it. So the energy of this is the connectedness of all, right? And it's cycles. So death, rebirth, it is the wheel of fortune. Things always have a cycle. Things are always going to live and die and to be reborn and to experience something new. So this feels like we have shed some old skin from something from the past, whatever it is to you, and are now like a brand new babe, ready for something new. And I just want to see what we have for that. Let's keep going, please. Okay, thank you. The Emperor. I love it. What else do we have for this pile, please? The Two of Cups. Look at that. Beautiful. And the Five of Cups. Okay. So the Emperor, the Two of Cups, and the Five of Cups. Interesting that came out here, and I'll tell you why. Because the Two of Cups very much mimics this. Again, it is a love that surpasses all material things through space, through time. It is two individuals finding each other against all odds. It's like a fated encounter, right? Now, the Five of Cups here is grieving something. This process over here is a grieving process. I very much picked up on that with this Three of Swords. In the traditional tarot, it is an actual heart with three swords in it, okay? And it's very cloudy background. So the Three of Swords is a sad energy. Now, it can mean that you've broken your own heart, again, by putting up your blocks and not allowing something genuine to come in. It could be that some other person has hurt you. It could signify cheating, right? There's three swords here. So there could have been a third party situation that happened here. But what I am getting here is that despite you letting go of whatever has occurred in the past, you might not be seeing the thing that's right in front of your face, okay? So the way the Five of Cups works, you have these 3 spilt over cups. They're knocked over, you're sad over that. But there are still 2 sitting upright right here that are like, hey, we're here to bond and to have this beautiful love that is beyond material things, space, and time. I'm here to fill your cup. You're here to fill my cup. It's like equally yoked individuals. And the Emperor is here because this is being the authority of your life. Now, if you tend to be a feminine listening right now, this could literally be an Emperor coming into your life. All right? I will say that it feels like they've done the work, which is how they become the Emperor anyways, right? How do we become an Empress as the feminines? We do the work, right? We do the journeying within, and we find what our shadow is. We integrate it. We acknowledge it. We say, yep, I understand that part of myself. Now, does anybody here know what a shadow is? Because it's a pretty basic explanation. It is basically the parts of us that we do not wish to expose, okay? We might be ashamed of the parts. We might have been told by society that these are the parts that we should be hiding and not showing to the world, okay? Maybe it's your goofy side, right? You can't be goofy in a serious situation. You can't laugh. Maybe it is because I'm trying to think of other things. Jealousy could be one. Vulnerability could be one. And again, let's speak to men in particular. Emotions are here with the Emperor, which is telling me that this Emperor here, and again, this may just be your masculine internal self for feminines, also masculines, does not have to be external, but that they may have been told that it is weak to show emotions. But emotions are here, and that's part of the journeying within and the integration, right? So for feminines, maybe you've been told you are too much, and you've tried to dull yourself down to fit in, being eccentric, right? Whatever it is, for any individual who's listening right now, it is the parts of you that you hide because you've either felt that they are too much, or that they're not enough, or that you've been told that you shouldn't show that part of yourself, or that you just kind of felt that you shouldn't show that part of yourself, right? When I meet people, I actually meet both their shadow self and their higher self, and it's very interesting to see the contrast between the two, because most people's higher selves are this free, light form. It's kind of your soul, right? It has no shape. It's just an energy. The shadow self, often they chain down in a dark cave. And I say chain because, yeah, they're like shackled up down there. So if you can meet somebody and you can see both parts of them and you can accept it and you can see that they're at least trying to integrate it, that in itself is beautiful, because the majority of the population out there are not willing to do this journeying within. And they're not willing to integrate the parts of themselves that they put a blindfold on for. It can be tough to look at all the aspects of yourself and to acknowledge them first of all, and then second of all, integrate them. It is a big task to ask that of somebody. And not everybody is willing to go that extra mile to do it. And so if you meet somebody that's at least trying to do better for themselves, good for you. I give you immense kudos for that. Okay? All right, let's go to this third pile, which is the sword. This is the knife, the blade, the weapon. To use the sword is to decide. The blade separates one reality from another. The choice is made and all else falls away. If you find the sword in your grasp, you can no longer hesitate. This weapon requires a clear and decisive mind and a willingness to act. An onlooker may think the sword bearer is hasty and violent, but the most compassionate and responsible gesture is one that is honest, swift, and accurate. Our first encounter with the sword is at birth, when the cord that we share with our mother is cut. This moment defines our separation from her and begins our journey of becoming our self. We must take these cuts again and again. If we are to grow, decisions shape our life, and the sword is an infamous shaper of destiny. All right, I love that. So the first cut is at birth, right? We separate ourselves from our mothers. Then many cuts come after that. We cut off relationships. We cut off people and create boundaries. Sometimes we put the heart or the sword in our own heart, right? So however many cuts you've made or need to make is the right amount, whether it is self-inflicted or inflicted upon you, right? We deal with the consequences after it has occurred, and we have to be quick and decisive. It's kind of like the Knight of Swords. Could also be like the Page of Swords. Sometimes we're just anxious to go and we don't know what to cut, and that's okay, because every cut is going to bring a consequence. So if you're cutting off people in your life, know that you probably had some really great valid reason to do that. And Spirit's with you to help guide you through those situations and decisions. All right, okay. That came out right away. 3 of them. Perfect. We have the Queen of Cups. We have the 6 of Wands and the 8 of Pentacles. All right. I love that the Queen of Cups is pointing over at the 2 of Cups, because it very much feels like she's here to be like, look right there, what's in front of you. If you work hard and perfect your craft of whatever it is you're building towards, you will see victory. We have the 8 and the 9 of Pentacles. This is like almost to the end of whatever it is you're building, right? 8, 9, 10. 10 would be the last. You're building something beautiful, and you will see victory over it. It might take a few cuts to get there, and it's even going to take honing in your emotions, right? Your intuitive abilities. Sometimes maybe somebody didn't do anything wrong to us, but we intuitively feel that they need to be cut off right now in our life, and it is what it is. That person may not be very happy with your decision, may even create sadness, but just know that whatever it is that you are working towards is building beautifully, and that you are almost there. Okay? You might even be building it together with somebody. The 2 of Cups. My intuition is telling me right now to trust your intuition. Trust your intuition. You'll know who this is. It will just feel right. It will feel natural, and it will not feel rushed, and it will not feel forced. Okay? So let's get an animal spirit for each of these piles and go a little deeper. Okay, for this one we have the swan. I love the swan. The dolphin and the mouse. Okay. We're going to see what those have to say. All right, so the swan is effortless creativity, sensitive mystic, and elegant power. The swan represents heightened creativity in Hindu mythology. The goddess Saraswati, the embodiment of language, creativity, and artistry, rides on the back of this graceful creature. The swan is ready to take us there, to the fluid realm of writing, creating, and reflecting. This potent and healing energy is not to be taken for granted or taken lightly. When the swan card appears, your soul is calling for attention. for solo time. An inner voice is waiting to be heard, an inner vision likely to be revealed. So I like that it refers to solo time. I always look at the swan as kind of the lovers. Like it mimics this Two of Cups card, right? Like if you were to hold a mirror here, they're mirroring the image. But that's also your own reflection. So that's how this other person shows up in your life, is a reflection of you. But it is also a time for you to go within and to integrate your shadow and to look at what it is that you want in another person. Be specific, right? If you're not willing to give what you want to receive, then that means we have more shadow to integrate. Okay? Now, this looks like a mother goose here, but it could also be a swan. Hard to tell. They look very similar. Okay, let's take a look at the dolphin. So the dolphin is innately intelligent, a healer, light, and blessings. The gift of the dolphin is beyond what our human minds can grasp. Dolphin personalities are often drawn to the healing arts, as they are sensitive to the subtle and enjoy working on the level of spirit. It's easy for dolphin types to underestimate the impact that they make in the world. These creatures play such an important role in the wheel of karma that coming in contact with a dolphin type will change the entire course of your day and thus your life. This card can also indicate a profound blessing is on the way. I love that. Now, the fact that it is in the category with the Two of Cups, when we want to talk about what profound blessing is on the way, I am going to say it is in the form of somebody, and it is somebody who is equally yoked to you. So if this person has not shown up in your life yet, then count on this happening in the very, very near future. Okay? This could also lead to marriage for any of you that are looking for that. All right? The biggest thing here to know is don't dwell in the sadness of things lost from the past. Okay? Because this is going to show up when you're ready to move on and to open your heart fully. All right. Let's look at the mouse. This is a detail-oriented, small-minded, nitpicky, and nervous. The mouse has an innate desire to tend to the details. It often spends its days fixing, preparing, organizing, and scrutinizing. Unfortunately, a mouse personality doesn't notice when they've gone too far. Soon they begin to have a limited and fearful vision of life and try to control every detail. This can be quite a painful experience for both the mouse and those around them. When mouse energy is at play, step back for a moment. It may be time to find a more purposeful project to delve into, one that's worthy of your exacting eye. Okay. So what that's telling me is while you are working hard towards things, don't just stay busy to be busy and not like truly living in the moment, right? We do have the Eight of Pentacles here, which is being busy and building your craft and honing your talents and that sort of thing. But as you're building, make sure that you are in the moment, right? Don't just do things to do things. Like if some of you can't find 5 minutes to meditate, I just saw 111. Maybe that is an indication to you that you need to look at what you're doing and what you're spending your time on, right? If you are just kind of busying yourself up with whatever it is that needs to be done and you're not taking the time for yourself, that's potentially where a problem could arise. Okay, let's wrap this up with a Gothic oracle. Let's tie this all together. Thank you. We have the power of 3. Beautiful. All right, let's see what we have in the book for this one. So this is about cooperation. 3 wolves take their places around a young woman. All 4 of them are poised and ready to jump into action. The symbol of the triquetra has been etched into the ground before them, meaning the power of 3. While the power of 3 could refer to the help of the 3 wolves, the woman's familiars, it signifies any kind of cooperation or teamwork. Each member of the group has their part to play. Let the cogs in the machine, things will work less effectively if one of them is missing. If you have drawn this card, it means that the team is of great importance. You may be able to work to solve a problem or take on a new responsibility alone, but do you have to? Sometimes jobs can be more enjoyable when we share the experience with others. Are you carrying your workload and doing your part? Are others shouldering responsibilities that you should be dealing with, or is it someone else who has become lax? The power of 3 reminds you of the strength of the group and not the individual. It is often when we all join together that great success can happen. All right. I also interpreted that in a different way, because they do say that when the 2 come together, that it's not 1 + 1 = 2, it's actually 1 + 1 = 3. And the reason for that is because you have spirit that joins in and strengthens your connection. So you can interpret this as like community that's coming together and helping you through some of this stuff. This can also, though, mean you joining another individual and creating the power of 3. Okay, so I interpreted that a couple of different ways. So that is your message for today. I hope this helped someone out there. Good luck on your shamanic journeying. I know that that's a difficult thing to get through, especially if you're going through, again, the year's worth of lessons and teaching involved with that. So I wish you all luck, especially in the heart healing and the cracking open process, because it's not easy. It's definitely not. It's one of the most difficult things you will ever go through. But it is also the most rewarding because it opens you up to brand new things that you never saw possible. Okay? So thank you all for joining me. I truly appreciate your time and energy exchange. Make sure you fill your own cup up with love before you fill someone else's. Go within so you never go without. Keep in mind that I'm a beacon of light here to help guide you through the darkness. I wish you all a lifetime of happiness, health, wealth, abundance, and so much love. Thank you again. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.